Hi, this is Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast, and welcome to another episode of the Chicken Head Chronicles. First, check out the new shirt. Got it off Amazon, matching hat. Good stuff. So a few months ago, I did a video about a power supply for the Amiga 500, 600, and 1200 from Commodore4Ever. I've been using that power supply on my Amiga 500 since then. Absolutely love it. Now, John was kind enough to send me another power supply that I want to review today for our Commodore 8-bit computers. So, who makes this? Commodore4Ever is run by John and his son out in North Carolina. Now, in the past, they've had mostly an eBay presence and have been selling their products over eBay. But they've now expanded and they have a full website with an online store at www.commodore4ever.net. Make sure you put in the .net and .com instead of .com. .com takes you someplace else. In addition to power supplies, John also makes things like the Pi 1541 hat that I reviewed a couple of episodes ago. He makes Wi-Fi modems that work on everything from a Commodore VIC-20 to a C64 to a Commodore 128, and those are pretty cool. He sells floppy disks. He's got an inventory of actual blank 5 1/4 inch floppies. So I'd strongly recommend checking out his website. Oh, another cool thing he's got now are actual SID chip replacements, some of the newer SID chip replacements that are out there. So if you've got a burned out chip, John can take care of you. He's also recently sold some really great Commodore 128 computers, some Commodore 128Ds that he's put up on Facebook. When he's redone them and revamped them and refurbished them, you know they're going to be in good shape. So if you're looking for a computer, you may want to check his website out too. Sometimes he's got some things up there. Now, when I got back into the retro scene a couple of months ago, back in August of 2018, I got a Commodore 128 with no power supply. I ordered one from www.c64psu.com. I'll put that down here. It's an outfit in Poland. Took them like 3 weeks to ship it to me, but when it came in, it's perfectly good power supply. I still use it on my Commodore 128. It's great, no complaints at all. But I didn't find out about Commodore4Ever for a few weeks after I placed my order, so I couldn't get it from him. I would have preferred to just ordered all my power supplies from him, but that's okay. So let's take a look at the power supply itself. Now, the first thing you'll notice is it's very small. Tiny little thing, fits right in the palm of your hand, very light. Now let's compare that to an actual C64 power supply. So this is a C64 power supply, the black one. So you can see it's a little bit bigger. This is actually smaller than a lot of them that I've seen. And the weight is probably almost twice as heavy as the one that is made by Commodore4Ever. So that makes a difference. Now, when you look on the bottom of the power supply, you see it's a switching power supply, 5 volt DC at 5 amps, and 9 volt AC at 1 amp. So it's got plenty of power for everything we need for our Commodores. You'll also notice that it says for Commodore 128, 64, 64C, and VIC-20CR. That's not the two-prong VIC-20. That's the newer model VIC-20. Newer model, it's like 38 years old. Now, it's really cool how he allows this to work with different kinds of machines. Let me show you that. It comes by default with a standard round connector with our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pins. Yep, 7-pin round connector for Commodore 64 with all of the proper voltages for a 64. Now let's say you wanted to use this on a Commodore 128. An adapter, boom, round on one end, square on the other, all the pins. Inside this adapter is all the wiring to put all the voltages in the right place. So you just plug this little guy in like that. Now you're ready to go. Plug right into a Commodore 128. Now it does say right on his website that these are designed to work with his power supplies, and if you try to use it on a regular Commodore 64 power supply, your mileage may vary. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, who knows. But they are designed to work with his. Same thing with a +4. So the +4 uses the same square power connector, but it only has 4 pins instead of 5 pins. Again, we just plug right in, and magically this now powers up the +4. Let's see it in action. Here we have our good old-fashioned breadbox Commodore 64. This is a conglomeration of my old computer from the mid-80s and a newer one I got off of eBay. And of course she'll just plug right in. Powers right up. And we should have Moon Patrol show right up on the screen. Yep. So that works just fine. Yay, Moon Patrol! So now we've got our +4 out. So we're going to hook up the little adapter. Plug this back into the square connector back there. Thank you, Commodore, for making things non-standard. We appreciate that. And give her a little power. Light comes on. Let's see if we've got a screen. Oh, look at that fancy purple screen. 60,671 bytes free. This is obligatory. You absolutely have to do this when you hook up a new computer. You got to do something like that. It's the law. As you may know, by far my favorite Commodore computer, 8-bit Commodore computer, is my Commodore 128. I just love this little guy. I've got her decked out with the 64K video chip upgrade. I've got actually 2 of these 1571 drives, just one on here right now, and then I have a 1581 drive and an SD to IEC on there. But my precious little baby, let's see if it works with Commodore4Ever's adapter. So we'll plug that right into there. We want to see our little atom there. There you go, you handsome little dude. All plugged in. And on she comes in beautiful 80-column mode. So even though the Commodore 128 uses very, very different voltages than the Commodore 64, Commodore4Ever's power supply can handle it, puts out the right voltages in conjunction with the adapter. Now these adapters, they range between $19 and $23 depending on which one you buy, but it's definitely worth it. If you can imagine that you've got multiple computers like I do, you know, I've got my C64, Commodore 128, VIC-20. There may be a limitation on how many plugs you have in the general area. So you get one of these power supplies and a couple of adapters. You're only using one plug, and you can plug in whichever computer you need to at the time you need to do it. Kind of efficient, kind of nice. The other thing I like about this power supply is its cords. From the wall to the unit itself, it has a nice 5-foot cord. And then from the unit to your computer, another 5-foot cord. So you can actually locate it a fairly long way away or in a nice central location and then move the cord from computer to computer and have plenty of room to do it. So I say that's a nice feature. If you want to, or if you need to ever take the thing apart, it just has a couple of screws right on the side here. And it's as easy to take apart as the Commodore Amiga one. Not that you'd ever need to get into it, but if you ever do, it's fairly straightforward to do. So how would I rate the Atom power supply for our 8-bit computers? I'd say 5 chicken heads out of 5. Easy. No problem at all. It's quiet. It's not hot. It is compatible with most of our machines. It's a reasonable price for the kind of work that he puts into building these. It's a very reasonable price. Now, there are some other people out there who are making Commodore 64 power supplies, and I'm sure they're absolutely beautiful. But if you need one, give John a shout out at Commodore4Ever.net. You can also find him quite frequently on Facebook. He's got a Facebook group. I'll put that in the description. And you'll find him on YouTube. He has a nice YouTube channel with a lot of great YouTube information about his machines, things that he's built, products that he sells. Great stuff. Check it out. Speaking of internet and social media, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. I'm trying to grow it. And also, give me a follow on Twitter. I'm at 10mark1. 10 MARC, the number 1, on Twitter. Follow me there. I'm on there almost every day now. And also, I'm starting to promote my Facebook channel a little bit. It's facebook.com/10Minute Amiga Retrocast. I'll put it down here, and I'll also put it in the description. Thank you again. Give this guy a shout out. Give him a call if you have any needs. And until next time, this is Doug from 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast, signing out.